Hi, this is Dr. Sheik Abdul Jaffar. I am working as an associate professor in data science department, CSD. Okay, today my topic is process models now. See, in this process models here, we have to discuss today. Our agenda is here. What is the process models? How many types of different types of process models we will discuss now. Okay, now today this is the our discussion is in the process models here. We have to discuss the waterfall model, incremental model, evolutionary models. Now here, afterwards, agile model and the unified process model. There are 5 types of process models will be there, but today we are discussing only the 3 types of models now. Okay, now we will go for the next slide here. This is the course objectives and course. In the last session, I have already explained all the things here. Now I'm not going for the details. Okay. See, now directly I'm going for the in the first unit here. This in the software engineering. There are 3 parts will be there. First part deals with the introduction to the software engineering. Second one is a generic view of the process. Third one is the process model. Today our discussion is the process models now. So first thing we have to know about what is the process models here. Process models is based on the software process now. Okay, a software process is nothing but nothing but a roadmap to follow. That is a roadmap for building the any software product here. Now process as generally, what is the software process here? A process was, what is the software process? A software process was defined as a collection of work activities, actions and tasks that are performed when some work product is to be created. Each of the activities, actions and tasks reside within a framework or the model. Framework, that is framework or the model now here. Generally, the generic process framework for software engineering defines 5 framework activities: communication, planning, modeling, construction and deployment. These are the important framework activities now here. See, every model will follow this framework activities, whatever whatever the process model will be, whether it is a waterfall model, whether an incremental model or the evolutionary process model and the agile model here, whatever, and the unified process. All the models will follow all these framework 5 framework activities. These framework 5 framework activities are very important in the process model now. Now we go for the how this process is process is flowing in the process model here. Again, depends upon the software project here. We have to implement this process model. It means that the process model will depends upon the type of application. For example, whether if it is a small project, whether it is a large project here, that is it depends upon the type of the application. We have to implement the process models. These are the, see, for the small projects we are implementing the waterfall model, oldest model. For the large projects we are implementing the agile model. Today, now in our software technology, so in the software engineering, agile model and that is extreme programming and scrum master models we are using in the now today's in the software projects handling this one. Okay, now we will go for the first, what is the process flow. Process flow describes how the framework activities and the actions and tasks that occur within each framework activity are organized with respect to the sequence and the time. See, again, depends upon how the process is flowing. For example, in the waterfall model, the process is flowing in a serial manner, that is sequential manner. Whereas in case of then in an incremental model, an iterative process flow repeats one or more time in the activities before proceeding to the next here. Now in the evolutionary process models now here, then the circular this framework activity is executed in a circular manner. So, okay, see, now in case of the, suppose we are coming to the incremental model, second type of incremental model, rapid application development model. In the rapid application development model, then these framework activities executing one or more activities in parallel with each other activities. Okay, now we will see with the help of the diagram process flow how it is happening here. Suppose we coming to the, what is the linear flow. Linear process flow will occurs in the waterfall model. In the waterfall models here, after communication it goes to planning, after planning it goes to the modeling here, construction, deployment. Okay, in a linear form, in a sequential form, the process flow occurs in a waterfall model. Whereas in coming to the second one, incremental model. In the incremental model, the process flow will occurs in a iterative fashion. So for example, iterative means here after communication and planning activity, then again again it will start from the it will take a iterate one iteration. It can go back again. It comes to the communication and planning. Okay, or we can say that here after communication, planning, modeling, construction is completed this cycle. From the again construction, it will go back to the communication. It will take one iterative further. Okay, see in like this iterative process flow takes place in the incremental model. Okay, now coming to the third one is an circular evolution, circular forms. Okay, circular process flow will take place in the evolutionary process model. See, after communication it goes to planning. After planning it goes to modeling. Here after modeling it goes to the construction. Then after it goes to the deployment, again it comes to the communication. Okay, see, we'll discuss in detail. We're coming to the one by one process models here. See, this is the basic concept here, how the process is flowing. I'm showing with help of the diagram. We're coming to the second one is a process parallel process flow. When the parallel process flow will takes place in a rapid application development model, that is the second type of incremental model with this one. Okay, see, this is the diagram. In the diagrammatic view, I am explaining here how the process is flowing in a process model. Okay, we're coming to the first one, software development life cycle. This is very important topic here. In the software development cycle is a process used by the software industry to design, development and test high quality software. The main objective is to provide high quality software that meets or exceeds customer expectations, reach completion within the times and cost. SDLC means software development lifecycle, is a framework defining tasks performed at each step in the software development process. Okay. Now here we can see what are the activities in the SDLC. SDLC activities provides a steps of followed to design and develop a software product here efficiently. See, first in the SDLC, the first activity is communication. Communication means a communication between the customer and the developer. The developer means who's developing that project here. Now requirement gathering means we are gathering the requirements from the customer. Okay, this is the first step in the designing of the software project here. Now feasibility study done by the organization or the company, whether that project is feasible to that organization or not, whether that project will give the profits or loss here. Suppose if that project is getting the losses here, then that company will not handle that project here. They are rejecting such type of project. This is the feasibility study. Like this, different types of activities will be there in the SDLC. Now software design, coding, testing. Coding is nothing but we are writing the programming here. Okay, testing, we are testing this programming coding here. Integration, we are integrating suppose the unit we are doing before the integration. We are doing the unit testing. After doing, we are doing integration, means we are combining all the models and form one complete model. Afterwards, we are implementing the we are in terms of one single model operation, maintenance, disposition. See, now we coming to the different types of water models. How many types of say there are 5 types of different models here. First model is the waterfall model, very oldest model. Second one is incremental process model. And the incremental process model, there are 2 types of models will be there. One is incremental model, second one is RAD model. RAD is nothing but rapid application development model. Third one is evolutionary process model. In the evolutionary process model, we are discussing today what is prototyping model, what is a spiral model, the concurrent model. So today I will conclude with only the prototype model here due to some up to in the evolution. In the next session, I will take care of the remaining things. Okay. Now we coming to the first one is the waterfall model. See, the waterfall model is the oldest model of for software engineering. That we can call as the oldest paradigm for the software engineer. See, now sometimes this waterfall model is also known as classical life cycle model. Classical life cycle model or linear model or linear sequential model. Okay, there are different. Why we are calling as waterfall model as a linear model? Because the process flow will takes place in a linear form, in a sequential form, in a waterfall model. Okay, so now this model suggests a systematic, sequential, means linear approach to software. See, linear approach means here after communication. See, there are 5 framework activities in the framework activities in any process model. First one is communication, planning, modeling, construction, deployment. See, in the communication, after communication, it will goes to the planning. After planning is completed, then it goes to the design. That is the modeling here. After completing the modeling, then the process will goes to the construction. After construction, it will goes to finally deployment. See, these are the five framework activities which takes place. See, in the case of waterfall model, one by one, it will that activities will be performed. Okay, that is in the sequential manner. Another thing is this model is best suited when requirements of the problem are reasonably well understood. See, if the requirements are clearly defined by the customer, when we are collecting the while the requirement gathering, we are collecting the requirements. See, if the requirements are very clear, well defined, then we have to apply this model. Otherwise, we can't apply this model, waterfall model. Okay. See, well-defined adoption or enhancement to an existing system, requirements are well-defined or reasonably stable. Okay. Now we come into this one diagram. This is a diagrammatic form, waterfall model. See, in the waterfall model, first framework activity is communication. Second framework activity is planning, modeling, construction, deployment. See, in the communication, in the first step in the communication, we are initializing the project here. That is, we are starting the project. Starting the project here. Then we are gathering the requirements. We are gathering the requirements in the communication. Okay. Now, second one in the planning. In the planning, we are estimating the project. We are scheduling the project. We are tracking the project in the planning. We're coming to the third one, modeling. In the modeling, we are analyzing and we are designing the project here. For a project, the name is software product. See, afterwards, after designing and analyzing, we are constructing the software product here. That is by means of we are implementing the project here. That is we are doing the coding here. Coding means we are writing the program and we are testing. That is, we are testing the software product in the construction. Finally, we are coming to the deployment here. In the deployment, we are deploying the software product into the market. Then we are giving a support to the whatever the support we are giving a support to the product here. Okay, we are giving the support to the product means we are suppose if any that software product is not working, our technical who are developed the software developer who have developed this software, then he has to go to the customer and he has to rectify that what is the technical problem is coming. Okay, now we coming to the feedback. Now generally we are taking a feedback from the customer continuously. After finally we are taking the feedback in the customer. In the case of the order, see what is the advantage of it. Now we will see what are the pros and cons of this model now. Okay, see, pros is nothing but this model is used for only for the small project. Okay, suppose if the project is very small, then we can use for the small scale project here. And if the requirements are well defined, then this model is suitable. Otherwise, what are the cons of this model here? That is disadvantage now. Okay, now this model is not stable, inflexible. Okay, now limited use of iteration problems here. If you expected full requirement early, working program is not available early now here. High risk issues not tackled by the early enough now. Now we can't go for the, suppose if the high risk will be there, then this risk is implemented into the project here, then there is a loss to the complete project here. Okay, then the loss of money wasted in the project. Okay, and another main important disadvantage of this model is now here. I am going for this previously this diagram. See, we can't go back to the again in the waterfall model. See, after communication, we have to go for the planning. After planning, modeling, construction, deployment, but we can't go back to the from the deployment to the communication to change the requirements, because we can't change the requirements. We can't change the requirements in the waterfall model. This is the disadvantage of this model now. See, this when it is just like, and why it is named as the waterfall here. Say, water is falling from high, suppose from a mountain, the water is falling from the mountain, it is coming to the down here, then whatever the down water will not go back to the again top of the mountain. Okay, that is like this. This is the thing they have given the name for this one. Okay, now we go for the second model is incremental process model. See, in the incremental process model, unlike in waterfall model, the delivery system is single now here. See, if the product is delivered in a complete one step here, but in the case of incremental model, we are delivering this software product in terms of the suppose step by step in a iteration incremental in incremental one. For example, GA for first increment, we have defined we have defined we have completed some this for example some file man. For example, I'm giving you a best example: software development using the model basic file management in the first increment. Then afterwards, document production capability in the second increment here. Then spelling and grammar checking in the third increment. Like this, now we are developing the software product in terms of the increment. So what is the advantage of this incremental model is now here, even by small that is a small develop. Suppose if the software team is very small, suppose if the small software team is, we can handle with the less number of software developers by in this model now. Okay, now this model combines the elements of waterfall model applied iterative fashion, focus on the operational product with each agreement. Now user requirements are say in this model here, whereas in the case of the waterfall model, we can't take into consideration the user requirements. Means we are not giving high priority to the customer requirements here, but in the case of the incremental model, we have to give the high priority to the user requirement. Means user requirements are prioritized and the highest priority requirements are included in the early increment. Means early increment is nothing but here in the first increment, whatever the we are developing, that is the core product we are developing. That is, for example, I am designing some software product. In that software product, whatever the base product we are developing, that base that is base software product will be there. That base product, core product, we are developing the first increment. Then after developing this first increment, then we are sending to the customer. From the customer, we are taking a feedback from the customer. Then suppose if there are any changes will be there, then we can develop in the second increment. Suppose after developing the second increment, we are giving to the third. We are submitting. We are submitting to the customer now to require any changes now. Again, if the customer want changes now, again in the third increment we can update that the software product with some changes will be there. Like this process is going on until final software product will be completely designed according to the software requirements of the customer. Okay, see, this is the incremental model. Now in the incremental model, we consist of the two models now. First one is an incremental model, simple. Second one is an RAD model. RAD model is rapid application development model. Okay, now in this model here, in the incremental model, we see here, now only previously I have discussed. Now here the software is released in the form of increments. Okay, in the form of increment. For example, let us assume that like this versions here. For example, I can take a mobile phone of something, say previously in the iPhone is of 11, 12, 13 line. Now nowadays here iPhone 17 is came here. Like this, see, we can give some this example for this some best example. See, in the first increment, we are developing one version, like the second version, like this here, different versions. So, okay, now we coming to the, this model is used when the requirements are well understood, multiple independent deliveries are identified. Whereas in the case of waterfall model, only one delivery will be delivered, only one final product will be delivered. Whereas in case of the incremental model, there are multiple independent deliveries are identified. Means after first increment we are delivering the product, second increment we are delivering product, for third increment we are delivering the product. Okay, now we coming to the this is a diagrammatic for the incremental model here. See, again in the incremental model there is communication, planning, modeling, construction, deployment will be there. Now this is the first increment. In the first increment I am developing some function. Suppose for example, let us assume that I am developing a Instagram application. So in the Instagram application, there are different things will be there. So, see, we are different creating a story, user. Okay, like this different things will be there. We have to run the Instagram application like this. Different things will be there. Now in one increment, I am doing some functions. Now in the second increment, I am adding the another functions, and the third increment, I am adding the another functions like this. So see, this is some example, but there are different example. With the best example we can explain. Okay, see, now we coming to the next one is this now RAD model. RAD model is rapid application development model. See, this model is suitable when applications, suppose if the customer requires that software product in a short period of time. For example, in 60 to 90 days, then this model will be suitable now. Okay, see in the right model here, but another thing is here, this multiple in this right model we require multiple software teams work in parallel on different functions, whereas in the case of incremental model, in the first model we require less number of software teams will be there. With the less number of software teams, we can complete this project here, but it will take a lot of time. Instead of 60 to 90 days, that in the first incremental model it takes nearly 6 months to 1 year, whereas in the case of the second model, incremental model, if we require, we have to complete the software project in a small interval of time of 2 months to 3 months, then we have to go for the RAD model. Okay, but here accuracy will be reduced now. Okay, see here this is the second model here. See, now we coming to the side. Now this is the RAD model diagram here. See, in the RAD model also we are following the same thing: communication, planning, okay, modeling here, construction, deployment. But in the case of the modeling here, we are doing here, see, we are discussing about the business modeling, data modeling, process modeling here. See, and another thing is, in the case of the RAD model, see, simultaneously this modeling and construction will takes place in simultaneously, parallelly. See, parallelly that work is going on. Okay, see, that's why this project, then the project will be completed in a short interval of time. Okay, it will not take long time of just like when compared to the waterfall model, nearly 6 months to 1 year. But in the case of the RAD model, we can complete the project into 2 to 3 months, because due to this we are, because n number of software teams here. For example, team 1, see in the diagram I'm showing here, team 1, team 2, team n, these teams, n number of teams are working parallelly to complete the project in a short interval of time. Okay, so then after completion of this software product, we are deploying the project here, and after deploying the project here, we are doing integration testing here, delivery, then we are taking the feedback from the customer. Okay, now we coming to the this model consists of an business modeling only. Now only discussed now process modeling, deployment. So what are the problems in the RAD model? Means what are the disadvantages of the RAD model? See, it requires a number of n number of software teams. See, we require n number of software teams here. Okay, see, now require commitment from both developer and customer for rapid completion of the activity. See, but in the case of the RAD model, the customer has to cooperate with the software developer. Say, whenever the software developer will require the information from the customer, then the customer has to give the information, then only we will complete in a stipulated interval of time, that is in a scheduled time we complete this project. Okay, now requires modularity. See, this model requires modularity, means here we can divide the complete project into n number of modules here. For example, module 1, module 2, suppose if some one project is consist of 10 modules will be there. That is, there are 10 software teams are working parallelly. For example, first module we are allotting the software team 1, module 2 we are allotting the software team 2, like this here. N number of software teams are working parallelly to complete this project. Okay, then there is no coordination between the this one. Okay, that is the one drawback here. They're not suited when technical risks are very high. When the technical risks are very high, this model is not suitable. Then we have to go for the agile model. This one next in our next discussion we will discuss the agile model. Now I will briefly discuss about what is the evolutionary process model. First I will discuss about only what is the prototype model here. With this I will complete this topic. Okay, now today this we'll see here, this model is fit in the situation that here in the evolutionary process model. In the evolutionary process model, again we have to discuss the 3 types of models here. First one is prototype model, spiral model, and concurrent development model. Okay, see, again in the evolutionary process model, the process is flowing in a circular manner. First, circular manner is, again in this evolutionary process model also we are using the same 5 framework activities. First one is communication. After communication we go to planning. After planning we are going to the modeling. After planning, after we are going for the construction, then deployment. Okay, see, only one difference between in the case of evolutionary model means here, in the evolutionary process model the process flow in a circular manner. Okay, another important thing in the prototype in this one is here. See, now in this prototype model here, the first I am going for the first type of prototype model. See, a customer defines the set of central object for the software but not identify the requirement. See, whereas in the case of the process evolutionary model, the requirements is not clear. see, just let's see, the customer don't know what type of software product he has to develop, that he has to construct here. It is just like you are constructing a house now here. Suppose you are constructing a 2 bedroom the independent house now here. So at the initial time, we don't know how many bedrooms we have to construct here, now where we have to keep the drainage, and where we have to some water like this here, different things. See, these are the where the electrical connections were. See, we are not clear, the requirements are not clear, then this model will be suitable. Say this model, say prototype model is nothing but, prototype is a small model here, or replica model, the sample model, different names will be there. See, it is a mock-up, mock-up model. We can say prototype model is also known as an mock-up model. Mock-up model is nothing but replica of a original model, or sample of a original model. Suppose, for example, I want to I want to design one software product here. Now, see, prototype is nothing but replica of that software product here. Okay, software. See, that is in the above side is a prototype. We offer the best approach here. See, prototype is a mock-up of the proposed system, which is released to the user during the requirements definition or early defined stages. Okay, early defined stages here. See, in the case of the prototype model, we are quickly designing the model now. See, that is the important advantage in the case of prototype model. Whereas in the case of the waterfall model, incremental model, we can't directly go for the designing. See, whereas in the case of the waterfall model and increment model, we are wasting a lot of time on the documentation, that is SRS documentation, software requirement documentation here. That is, we are collecting the requirements, we are doing planning this. But in the case of the evolutionary model, directly we are jump into that is a designing part, quick design. Then we can implement we can implement. We are constructing the software product by implementing the code and testing. Finally, we go for the deployment. Then we go for we have to submit to the customer. Then quickly we can take the feedback from the customer. Again, we can whatever the changes will be there, we can do. Okay, see, this is the thing we can happening in the prototype model. Okay, see, then this is the diagrammatic in the prototype model. See, first one is the 5 framework activities will be there. First one is communication. Second one is a quick planning, means quick design, quick planning. There is also quick planning, quick design, the modeling, quick design. After quick design, construction of a prototype model. Construction of the prototype model, a small model. So afterward, deployment, delivery, feedback. Okay, then we can send to the feedback to the customer. Then suppose if the customer is not satisfied with this prototype model, whatever they are here, then again this cycle will be repeated. So then again we'll goes to the communication, that is quick design, planning, construction. Like this cycle is going on until the final software product is designed according to the soft requirements of the customer. Okay, that is the advantage of this one prototype model. Okay, see, this model will follows an evolutionary and iterative approach. Now here, the use when requirements are not well understood. Say, in this one we don't know the requirements, simply we are designing directly we go for the quickly planning and designing. Then afterwards we are adding the requirements. According to the requirements, we are changing the design. That is the advantage of this model. So it serves as a mechanism for identifying software requirements. Customers may press the immediate delivery of working but efficient product. So if customer wants the product very in an urgent manner here, then we have to go for this evolutionary prototype model now. Okay, now but in the case of efficiency, then and performance of the software product cannot be achieved in a small time, in a small. So focus on those aspects of the software that are visible to the customer. The developer often makes implementation compromise in order to get a prototype working quickly. Here, the feedback is used to refine the prototype. See, generally in the case of the here in this prototype model, evolutionary model, we are taking the feedback. How we are taking the feedback? After first evolutionary one cycle, we are taking the feedback from the customer. Suppose if the customer is not satisfied, then again we have to go for the second iteration in a circular manner. That is circular manner here. Then if again the customer is not satisfied, then again we have to go for the third circular iteration. Like this, n number of iterations going on until the final product will be completed. Okay, Now, this is what are the advantages and disadvantages of this evolutionary model, prototype model we see. See, in this model, we are improving the communication between the developer and the customer. Continuous communication between the customer and developer will be there. Increase user involvement. See, user involvement means customer involvement is compulsory in this model here, and ability to clarify hidden or ambiguous requirements. See, some requirements we don't know. Say, but the customer also cannot clearly define. While we are in a meeting with the customer, we are clearing this such type of requirements. The quicker review of the specification, the better expectations setting of the end users. Now what are the drawbacks of this model here? User may get a delusion with the prototype, since the prototype is not robust at the system. See, it is the customer is think that here, see, it is only a prototype model, not the final model. That is the one disadvantage. Okay. See, developers may use prototype as an excuse to back the code rather than to gather the required. See, whereas in the case of the whatever the software developing the prototype model here, they think that they have completed this software, but they are not mainly concentrating on the whatever the software requirements collecting from the requirement gathering from the customer. Okay. See, this is the thing here. Now we will go further in the next session. I will complete this process model topic here, that is spiral model. After this model, concurrent model here, then agile model and unified process model. Okay, thank you.